Yo guys, it's Sandro. So this is just a short rant video about my thoughts and first impressions on Lord of the Rings Online's leveling and questing, and specifically about the higher difficulty questing and leveling, which the system is called Landscape Difficulty. Now before getting into the higher difficulty questing and leveling with the Landscape Difficulty system in Lord of the Rings Online, I first want to mention that I feel like nowadays a lot of MMORPGs don't really focus anymore on the leveling aspect of their games. A lot of MMORPGs focus on specific things, like a super detailed and exciting endgame, a riveting story from beginning to end, and some even player versus player. But I feel like the leveling aspect has been forgotten in many MMORPGs, sadly, and that aspect is by far my absolute favorite part of any MMORPG. The satisfying leveling and progression from the start of level 1, pushing forward through the game as a fresh new character in a beautiful open world with danger in all corners. Many modern MMORPGs today just don't really have gameplay like that in their leveling and questing gameplay anymore. Mobs are usually able to be taken down easily by being hit only a couple times, also being able to pull several mobs at once without zero engagement or threat or thought. It feels like the leveling and questing gameplay of MMORPGs have just been forgotten as a trade-off to make the endgames or other parts of the MMO the actual enjoyable part, which forces new players to get through a very long slog and not really enjoy themselves, and end up quitting before even reaching the supposed fun part, in quotations, of an MMORPG. To give an example, my favorite part of why I got addicted to classic World of Warcraft when that first came out and relaunched in 2019 was the fact that the world really got you engaged. Now, I do love World of Warcraft overall, but the leveling and questing in classic World of Warcraft wasn't the easiest task, especially if you are new to the game, but that was even the case for some long-term players as well. My most enjoyable part of Classic World of Warcraft was the fact that I was in a massive open world with danger lurking in every corner. I had to be careful not to pull tons of mobs or else I was dead and I would have to pay my armor repairs when I already could barely afford that. Now rambling aside, Lord of the Rings Online has absolutely been able to encapsulate this feeling, and it is damn good, especially with the system, as I mentioned before, known as the Landscape Difficulty system, which increases the difficulty of your open world leveling and questing, or called Landscape. Even without the Landscape Difficulty system, Lord of the Rings Online absolutely feels like an MMORPG that you should take slowly, enjoy your time leveling and questing, experiencing the world and also the story, but with the Landscape Difficulty, the world becomes very dangerous. Feels like a real adventure where you do have to be careful of higher level mobs, be careful of pulling too many, pay attention to the gear you have if you may need an upgrade, and also pay attention to your abilities and actually heal when needed. Now to get into the Landscape Difficulty details, you do have just the normal difficulty where you don't need to increase the difficulty at all. Lord of the Rings Online already feels very nice so far to level in from my experience at the beginning. But the Landscape Difficulty has truly made my beginning experience in the game much more engaging, exciting, and sometimes a little bit scary. After completing the intro questline to your respective starting zone, which you complete at around level 6 to 8 depending on how many mobs you are killing, you will find an NPC called the Hardened Traveler which can raise your difficulty from level 1 to 9. Level 1 of course being the easiest you can raise your difficulty, and level 9 being the most insane. Depending on your difficulty chosen, your character gets a difficulty debuff, which increases your XP gain, and Virtue XP gain, which is very nice, increases your damage taken, decreases your damage done, triggers a slew of additional dangerous modifiers that spawn on any mobs you can encounter in the world, and you have caught the Eye of Sauron itself, and occasionally you have a chance for targeted AoEs to spawn on top of you or around you in your area that you need to dodge as they deal heavy damage scaling up depending on your difficulty. Now, especially on difficulty 3 or above, from a bit of my research, and also from my own experience, that the levels difficulty 3 and up seem to be the relative sweet spot for players playing alone, maybe about level 3 to 5 from what I've seen, and makes the world, as I said before, much more engaging, exciting, and sometimes scary. I have personally been playing on difficulty level 4 on my Bjorning character who is now level 10. I've already died multiple times accidentally pulling way too many mobs. Like in the first spider cave in Arche, I accidentally pulled 4 spiders and died very quickly. Near Combe, I pulled 2 level 12 bears and they mauled me to death, and another level 13 bear chased me down, stunned me while I was running, and while the Eye of Sauron AoE vaporized my HP and the bear finished me off. Now, I can totally understand if people still just want to casually enjoy the game, just have an easy and very chill time while watching maybe a video on their side monitor. And I definitely have moments like that. I totally can understand if you were like that, because I have moments like that where I just want to chill. But I personally, for me, I absolutely yearn for MMORPGs and RPGs in general that have challenges while leveling and questing. For me, I enjoy being engaged when a quest is making me struggle a little bit, due to there maybe being a bunch of enemy mobs huddled into one area, and I have to be careful to pull one at a time, or there is a mob that is a much higher level than me, and I have to plan out how I'm going to kill the mob and be prepared with, like, potions, food, and remember to use my heals and other abilities when needed. With landscape difficulty, I love the absolute mix between the Lord of the Rings Online chill and relaxed adventure setting, but with the dangerous world where I need to be careful about how I encounter enemies if I'm going into a dangerous area. Instead of how most MMORPGs do it, where questing and leveling feels like a chore, because everything is just stupidly easy, and questing and leveling, like, it really doesn't matter that much. Now, the questing and leveling with landscape difficulty feels like a true amazing adventure with danger and peril lurking everywhere, just like I would expect of a Lord of the Rings Online game to be, let alone a massive MMORPG like this one. I feel really immersed in my Bjorn character, one of the line of Bjorn, who is trying to survive in this massive world that he's never experienced before, trying to survive the wilds of the world with danger around every corner, preparation and focus needed for every quest he does. Even the Eye of Sauron AoE may damper some amount of immersion for some people, but for me, it just deepens the gameplay even more and doesn't really hurt my immersion, but instead just makes me even more engaged to play the game. But that's pretty much all the ranting and rambling I have in my brain for this. I've been having an absolute ball with Lord of the Rings Online, and my experience became so much more fun and engaging with the landscape difficulty system. Let me know what you guys think below in the comments if you're already a Lord of the Rings Online player and have experienced the landscape difficulties. I'm very curious to hear about what the common perception is about this system, and I personally love and enjoy it. And if you haven't played Lord of the Rings Online before, but you are looking for an old school feeling MMORPG that has a challenging open world while questing and leveling, I plead you to give this a shot. Do a little bit of research on it and give it a shot. Or just give Lord of the Rings Online a shot in general, if you're looking for a very relaxed and chill adventure. There is definitely a chance that you will enjoy it. But that fully wraps it up now. Thank you so much for watching if you reached it this far. I would appreciate it a lot if you left a like on this video, subscribed as well to my channel for more content like this. I've been having such a great time with Lord of the Rings Online, so I absolutely have more content planned for the game in the future. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and stay tuned if you are interested in hearing my further impressions on the game. Now, thank you so much for watching again, and of course, have a great day, have a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.